Have you ever felt you've never you've never lived there in your current lifetime, and she is my soul home. My parents had always found it odd the way I talk about connected to a place that you've never lived. Well, you've never lived there in your current lifetime, but you certainly feel like you could. That's how I feel. So, we ever, I may not have known, but my soul certainly knew. And when I was old enough,
I apologize for the technical difficulties, y'all. I am trying my hardest to get this stuff to work properly. And I'm having the hardest damn time getting it done. But I'm trying. I hope y'all are having a good day today. Anything else here? And hopefully it works.
connected to a place that you've never lived. You could have lived there at some point in the past. That's how I feel about my soul home. Beckoned to me ever since I can remember. My felt so energized. I felt fulfilled. I felt like I was where I was supposed to be. And I'd never felt that anywhere before. I felt welcomed. I felt accepted. Bridget, on the other hand, felt much different than I, which she was raised or felt connected to a place that you've never lived. Well, you've never lived there in your current lifetime, but you certainly feel like you could have lived there at some point in the past. That's how I feel about New Orleans. She is my soul home. And she has beckoned to me ever since I can remember. My parents had always found it odd the way I talked about a place that I had never been to and knew nothing about at my young age. But my soul certainly knew. And when I was old enough, my friend Bridget and I decided to pay New Orleans a visit. It was our final semester in college, and we wanted to do something amazing and adventurous before the world took hold. New Orleans was 1997. I will never forget. We decided to go for just a few days. And boy, let me tell you something. From the moment I stepped foot in the city, I felt so energized. I felt fulfilled. I felt like I was where I was supposed to be. And I'd never felt that anywhere before. I felt welcomed. I felt accepted. Bridget, on the other hand, felt much different than I, which she was raised by a very strict, so I didn't had in at first, resistant. But after a while, she was with open arms, ready. One night we decided to go hang out on Bourbon Night, except I didn't feel like a tourist. I felt like I knew every street, every nook, every cranny, every space. Saw people who seemed so familiar, even though I'd never seen them before in my life. Down in the French Quarter, in one of the bars, there was a gentleman that caught my eye. He was standing off in a corner sipping a drink. Everyone else, and more than just where he was standing, but separate and apart, as in he seemed as though he were from a different time, a different place. And whatever that place was, and I felt myself being drawn. And I can hear Bridget calling my name from behind me, but she sounded further and further and further away the closer I got to this man. And the people that had surrounded us faded like a mist. And there was no more music, no more on the street. The building itself we were in seemed to change as though it were transported back in time. But I didn't care because I knew somehow I was connected to this gentleman who stood before me. And we stayed locked and again, not with words, but the feeling. And we were standing so close. We weren't touching, but I could feel him, and I knew he could feel me. And there was something in his eyes, something in his eyes that something in his eyes that made me tingle all over. He, to me, in my ear.
My messages are not posting for whatever reason. I don't know. I'm not gonna be up here long because I don't know. I'm gonna let this video finish. I don't know what's going on with the internet connection, but y'all please forgive me for the technical difficulties. I gotta figure out why this is happening.
Very, very low at first. But then the volume increased as though someone were turning up a radio. And that's when I could hear Bridget again screaming my name from across the room above the music. And it almost seemed as though I were in a trance and something had snapped me out of it. And when I looked around, I was standing in a corner staring at a wall because I could still feel him whispers in my ear, even though they were getting further and further away. And then I twisted me around and she yelled in my face, "Where did you go?" And I stared at her. Where did I go? I don't know. I thought I was here, but apparently I wasn't. Oracle, as she relayed what she witnessed, she watched me float, is the word that she used. Not walk, but float over to this corner of the room. I was in such shock, she couldn't move. And then she watched me fade into nothing and completely disappear. And that's when she began to think that someone had put some type of drug in her drink, because there's no way she had just watched her friend fade before her very eyes. She told me, but to me it was only a few seconds. I didn't doubt what she said. I believed every word because, of course, I had the experience. She was ready to leave, but for his eyes, for his scent, I wanted to see him. I wanted to be. But Bridget was ready to go. The experience was unnerving. And she convinced herself that, of course, someone had slipped something in her drink. She'd had too much. When we got back to our hotel, I sat up in bed thinking about him, where he'd come from. Why was he so familiar to me? Drifted off. The next day, when I woke up, Bridget was packed and ready to head back home. But I told her I didn't want to go. She would have to go back on her own. I was going to stay for the full duration of our trip. We argued back and forth a bit. And then eventually she said she wasn't leaving me behind. Needed to find him. She kept asking who him was, and I had no answer for her. So we decided to go out for the day. We explored the city. I felt drawn to so many different places. Finally, after walking for I don't know how many hours, poor Bridget was completely worn. We slipped into a little cafe, and there, behind the counter, in the and you won't believe when we locked eyes, it's you. I immediately went over to the counter and he reached his hand out to me and we touched. What a feeling it was. That familiarity was so comforting. He took a break and he and I stepped outside to talk. And he said, "This is going to sound," and I stopped him. And I assured him it would not sound strange at all. But he said, "Last night, I was in bed sleeping. And I dreamt I was in this club. And he says, I saw you across the room." And I thought, my goodness, I know her. He said, that's when you looked at me and you started walking in my direction. He said, when I woke up from the dream, I could smell your scent on my shirt, on my sheets, on my pillow. He said, when you walked into the cafe today, I was in disbelief because where did you come from? We had our first date that night, and we knew that we were meant to be together. New Orleans worked her magic, and she brought us. A couple of days later, I went back home, but we stayed in touch, of course. I visited him, he visited me, and 2 years later, we were married in New Orleans, of course. We spent a great deal of time there. We brought our children when they were born. Of saying thank you is an ordinary place. It is a place of magic. It's a place of love and romance, depth, and even darkness. I'm sharing this story with you because I want you to experience it for yourself. I know she's calling to you. I know she is waiting for you, arms open wide, like a patient lover. New Orleans has many things that she wants to share with you, and there's no need to be afraid. There's no need to be scared or confused because what you are feeling is real. That pull, that tug, that gentle nudge that says, I am your soul home. I want to see you. So, if you are feeling that urge, give in and come and see what secrets New Orleans has that she wants to reveal to you in your ear. Welcome home, my love. Welcome home.
Hey, y'all. I was just, again, doing some testing, playing with this whole live stream thing, trying to see how it works, because again, I'm trying to elevate my YouTube game for 2026. So trying to see how all of this works. I apologize for the technical difficulties and the delays and constantly going back to the beginning of the video, but I was just trying to see if I could get it to play properly. Um, so yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. If this is your first time here, please make sure you are subscribed to the Fat Girl Freestyle YouTube channel. And make sure you are following me on social media at Fat Girl Freestyle. So again, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate y'all. And I will see y'all again soon. I'm going to hop over to Facebook now. So y'all have a happy Sunday. Love you. Bye.